So if you were to go back 5 years ago and tell yourself like some advice, what would that advice be?
Look into how to do your taxes.
That's good.
That's a really good one.
That's a real specific one right there. What's up, everybody? This is the Untapped Potential Podcast, and today we're here with Trippy Barber. Trippy Barber is the owner of Elevated Hair Lounge and Elevated Microblading. What's going on, Trippy Barber? How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing today?
Doing good. Thank you for coming through.
Good. Yeah, thanks for coming through. We heard about you through Instagram. It sounds like you have like multiple different locations for your salon and a barbershop, right?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so let's start at the beginning. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you come from, and what your upbringing was like.
Well, I'm Mexican. I was born in Mexico, raised in California. Moved out here when I was like 10. And my mom's a cosmetologist, so that's how I got into doing hair. I've been cutting hair since I was like 13.
Oh, wow.
I started doing women's hair at 13. At the age of 18, I moved away from cosmetology and started barbering. And then went to school like around 20, opened up my shop at 22. And then just last year I opened up the salon.
Wow. So you've been kind of experiencing this whole type of profession throughout your life, right?
Yeah.
So I guess you said your mother was a cosmetologist. Were you working on some of her clients' hair as like practice to learn?
I was working on friends, family, and some of her clients that were willing to like let me do their hair. Of course, for free.
Yeah.
That's how I started. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I did some people up here and there, but hey, it was free, so you can't complain.
Yeah, good thing your mom was there to like probably touch them up, right?
Oh, no, for sure. My mom, when she saw me like up here and there, she'd be like, wait, stop right there. And then she'd like come in and then, help me out and say like, this is how you do it.
That's so cool though. Like you had your mom there to kind of mentor you through it and stuff, which I think is important in a field like that. So did you have like a moment when you were like, this is what I want to do for sure? Like, were you watching your mom one day and when you're like, you know what, I want to do that? Yeah,
my mom had been taking me to work with her since I was like 10. So like after school, I would walk to the salon she was working at and then just like sweep hair for her, clean just clean random stuff for her around the salon and just help her out really. And that's what really made me grow into like liking doing hair. And one day I was just like, you know what, like teach me how to do, color, teach me how to do haircuts. And she's like, okay, gives me a mannequin. Here you go. Do some highlights on the mannequin. And then started from there.
Did she own her own, I guess not barbershop, but like the equivalent of that?
Yeah, she's been owning salons here and there. She's always had business partners. Things always went really wrong with her business partners where they ended up taking the salon from her and screwing her over.
Wow.
But she's always has tried to have a salon. She had a salon in Monroe like 7 years ago.
Oh, wow.
She was there for 3 years. And then that's when she's like, you know what? I don't think I want to be a business owner anymore. And then she's like, do you want to take over it? And I thought about it. I said no, but then that's when I found the place in Everett and then opened up the barbershop because I didn't want to own a salon. I was already like dead set. I wanted to be a barber. So I opened a barbershop instead.
Gotcha. What made you want to stray away from a salon and go toward a barbershop instead?
Yeah.
To be honest, just women are so picky. I tend to talk back. So when I would deal with like women that were just rude, I would not like take that, especially with my mom where they would be rude to my mom. I know my mom's like professional and she's like, she would try to like be professional about it and be like, wait, what'd you say to her? And like just try to like, that's what really made me like say, you know what, like I don't want to deal with women, picky women, because their expectations of things, some women, not all obviously, are just so high that sometimes you got to tell them no and they can't take no for an answer.
He's like, hey, give me the J-Lo. And they show you a picture of J-Lo. And then you're like, I cannot make you look like that.
You don't got that type of hair, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Crazy,
so you find with men, they're just like kind of cool with it.
There's men that are picky. Don't get me wrong. I've dealt with a lot of picky men, but they're not. I don't know. They're not as hard to deal with. No, there's rude here and there, but not as often. I don't deal with it as often as I did with women.
That makes sense.
That's interesting because I would imagine there's not a lot of female barbers out there.
No, not at all.
So how have you how is when they've went into your barber shop and they saw you, what was their reaction like? Have you had a lot of negative reactions?
Yes, I have.
What explain to me like those types of experiences for you?
Well, I almost go off on them sometimes, but like I legit one time had this guy come in and I was by myself that day. He comes in and he's like, oh, I'm here for a haircut. I'm like, okay, I can take you right now. And he's like, yeah, but I want a haircut from a barber. And I look at him and I'm like, no, I'm a barber. Wow. And he's like, don't get me wrong, but like a guy, not a girl. Ooh. Like, I'm not trying to get like a messed up haircut. And I was just like, oh, the blood was boiling inside of me. And I was just like, you know what? You're right. I was like, you're totally right. And I recommended him to a shop. And I'm like, there's plenty of men for you to pick from there. I was like, but like,
I don't need your business.
Yeah, I really wanted to just tell him to fuck, but I was like, no.
Did he know that was your barbershop?
No, I wasn't going to like sit there and explain to him I'm a barber and that I have like, I don't know, all these recognitions and like, you know what? I just don't want your service at that point. Mm-hmm. Like for someone to be so sexist like that, I was like, no.
That's so messed up. So like, wow, that's so crazy.
And I deal with that pretty often. Like I even get phone calls and people I pick up and they're like, I want to get a haircut from a barber. And I'm like, yeah, I can take. He's like, but a male barber. And I'm just like, bro.
Do you think it's just more of like a trust issue? Like they think that male barbers understand the male like style more, or what causes that?
It's probably because they went to a salon.
Oh, and they had like a bad experience.
So this is the thing. A lot of people don't know. Barbers specialize in men's hair. Women specialize in women's hair. You go to a salon, don't expect to get a really good fade.
Right.
Because they don't teach that. Like when you run a salon, it's more women's hair. Yeah. It's not really like the fade.
And it's like you can't go to a barber shop and expect them to do women's haircut.
That makes sense.
Got it. Right.
Not unless they went out of their way to learn, beyond that. You know what I mean? Because I do both. I do women's and men's hair. Mm-hmm. But because I went beyond that, I chose to learn women's hair and men's hair. But there's barbers that just don't want to like mess with women's hair, and there's stylists that don't want to mess with men's hair.
Gotcha. Okay. Wow. And so in your experience, are the majority of the people that come into your barbershop like regulars or people that just kind of walk in and they're just kind of
they're regulars. So mostly we work appointment only. Especially because I've been cutting hair for so long that it's just hard for me to take walk-ins. Like I get booked out every day, all day.
That makes sense.
So I don't really take walk-ins.
So that speaks to the quality of your work, though. You know, like people are continuously coming back to you for a reason, right? Because they like what you do.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about like just business ownership in general, because you mentioned that your mom had some bad experiences with owning her business. She got her salon taken away. What did you take away from those experiences that allowed you to own your own barbershop?
Well, one thing for sure is if I want to own a business, if I can, like any way possible to try and not have a business partner, because it don't matter who it is, family, friend, random person. In the end, someone's always going to try to screw you over.
Damn.
Yeah. So one thing I always tell people that are always looking into opening up a business, a shop, a salon, I always tell them if you can afford it on your own, do it.
And what would be the first step that you would tell somebody to do if they wanted to own their own barbershop? Like, what would you have to do? You know?
I mean, there's a lot of things to keep in account, but one thing for sure, if you don't have to, don't get loans, pay it all, out of pocket. Don't owe anything. Another thing, if you can, no business partner. Another thing, it's really hard to find barbers and stylists to work, to like find people to work for you, or to lease from you. So one thing that I would tell people is if you are able to afford maintaining a place by yourself, don't get something that you can't afford. Get something that you can afford if you're left by yourself. Because there's been times where I've had no barbers at all and I was just left there by myself.
Damn.
So if I would have had something that was too expensive, I would have had to shut down.
Wow.
That's some great advice. And then another curveball that was thrown recently was like COVID, right? Like business.
Yeah.
What was that like?
It sucked. I was pregnant during the pandemic, and I had the barbershop, and my husband was out of a job, and then I was out of a job, and like I couldn't even get unemployment. He was barely getting anything out of unemployment. Like it was really hard, actually. It was really tough for us.
Wow. And like, have you seen a pretty good bounce back now, even though we haven't fully recovered from COVID? Have you seen like a solid bounce back since pre-COVID?
A little bit, yeah. Like this month right now, not so much, but I think so. I think it's slowly getting back to normal. But it could be better for sure. It's not as good as it was before COVID. Yeah.
How do you feel about, this is something I've always wanted to ask a barber and like a barbershop owner, but how do you feel about like tips? I feel like when I go to a barbershop, I'm always like, man, what's a good tip for a barber? Like $5, $10, $15? Like,
well, personally, I'm always very appreciative of whatever anyone could give me. I do have clients that give me nothing, but are regulars and come all the time. Yeah. I have clients that give me 5, 10, 15, 20, sometimes even 40. But that's the thing. I always tell people, if you're really worried about the tips, then maybe you should charge your haircuts more. Because if you're relying on tips, then you're not charging enough. Have
you ever had like any horrible experiences with customers? I was going to just ask that. Notable stories that are kind of like stuck in your brain where you're like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I have a few. Other than the guy coming in saying where all the male barbers at. I had this lady one time come in. She had booked an appointment. She thought she had booked an appointment, and I told her she didn't. And when I asked her, did you put your card information into the booking app? And she said no. I'm like, if you don't, the appointment doesn't go through. The reason why we have that is because some people don't show up to their appointment, and we lose money. Right. So with the card info in there, we're able to charge them 50% for not showing up and not calling, that they won't show up. So when she came in and like expected to get her son's haircut, I told her like, sorry, like you didn't book the appointment. I don't know what to do. And she's like, well, I expect them to get an appointment or a haircut. And I was like, well, I wish I could take them, but I'm really booked out. Like I really can't. Like I have no gaps. If I were to take them, then it's gonna backtrack everyone else that did book an appointment. Mm-hmm. And she's like, well, I don't know what you're gonna do, but you're gonna do something to like accommodate me. And I just look at her and I'm just like, you know, I would love to accommodate you, but just the fact that you're demanding right now, I just rather not. And she just went off on me saying you're racist, you're being rude. And I'm just like, whoa, like I'm sorry, but no offense to anybody, but she's she was a white lady. And
how's she gonna call you racist?
And I just look at her and I'm just like, ma'am, I'm Mexican. If anything, I know what racism is. I wanted to laugh so hard, but I tried to keep my cool. And I was just like, so I don't like, it doesn't make any sense. I told her it doesn't make any sense. Like, make it make sense.
Try again. Yeah.
Check your
app. And, she just gets up and just storms out. And I was just like, oh my God, like, can't believe she just said that. She really said I was racist. Why? Because I just didn't want to take her son. Why? Because she messed up, not appropriately booking an appointment.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I bet you build a lot of patience though, working like in a business like that, right? You probably run into a lot of people that feel entitled.
All
feel
the
like
time.
you owe them something. It's like, I'm
dude.
providing a service.
Like, there's some crazy ass people out there, bro.
There definitely is.
Yeah.
Wow. Have you had somebody that just like complains that like their haircut wasn't done to like the standard that they wanted and like demand a refund, like stuff like that?
Not a refund. Just recently, maybe like a month ago, I cut some guy's hair. First time cutting his hair, and honestly, like I didn't even think I did anything wrong. Like I really like tried on this guy. I love the haircut. The other barbers saw the haircut. They love the haircut. And then he leaves, and then like a week later, he leaves a bad review saying that I buzzed his hair. And I was just like, what? I was like, wait, hold up. There is no way I did that. I was like, that's ridiculous. Like, I did not buzz his hair. So, in my head, I'm like trying to like think what could have happened. But like, because he said on the review that I put like the clippers over his head and just like buzzed it down.
What?
And I was just like, what the hell? Like, that doesn't.
And you didn't do that at all?
I didn't. I was just like, what? I was just like, what the hell? Like,
he just left a bad review. Yeah. Do you feel like there's people that do that because like people from other hair like barber shops or salons send people to leave a bad review or something?
I don't know.
Is there any beef between other barber shops, you think?
Personally, not that I know.
Maybe like a healthy competition or something.
Not at all.
No, just kind of do.
I personally don't care.
Yeah. That's probably best though.
Oh, seriously.
I don't pay attention to everybody else. I mean, actually, there is this one person my mom told me about. I guess there's this like lady that I have no idea who she is. I don't even know her name. I've never met her. I have no idea who this woman is. She works at a barbershop / salon place. And I guess somebody told my mom that this lady said that I'm not all that I'm not that good, that if she were to ever cut next to me, she would like take all my clients. And I'm wow. I wish she would. Like, you know, like I could use less work.
There you go.
But like, I don't know. I thought that was just so weird. I'm like, I don't even know who this lady is. Like, why is she saying all that about me? And then one of my clients told my mom as well that he was at some like restaurant eating on like Casino Road, and that she was right next to him, and he overheard her like talking about me, and he's like, wait, I know who that is. And that he later on told my mom saying that the same thing, you know, that she was just like talking shit about me. And I'm just like, wait, who is, like, I'm serious, like, who is this person? Like, I don't even know who it is. I'm like, it's crazy.
You just gotta take the hate though and just like let it motivate you, right? Like you can't let it.
I mean, I just focus on myself. Like,
I mean, that's all you can do, especially if you don't know who's talking about you. I mean, people are gonna talk whatever they talk,
regardless.
Regardless.
I mean, I don't.
I guess, how long have you been owning a business?
5 years now.
So if you were to go back 5 years ago and tell yourself like some advice, what would that advice be?
Look into how to do your taxes.
That's good. That's a really good one. That's a real specific one right there.
Yeah. I mean, I grew up in a Hispanic household, and my family obviously always said, save money, save money. And my family was really religious. But one thing that I never got taught was how to like do my taxes, how to write a check, how to open up a business. I knew nothing about credit either. So the first year that I did my taxes as a business owner, and I went to the tax place, and I'm like, I'm here to do my taxes. And they're like, oh, do you have this, this, and this? I'm like, wait, what is that? And they're like, how do you own a business and don't know how to do your taxes?
Nobody teaches you that stuff.
I'm like, well,
not in school.
I don't know. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. I was a little embarrassed, but then, you know, they like talked me through it and everything. But one thing for sure, things would have been a lot different if I knew about that.
Damn. That's good though that they actually took the time to help you out and like kind of coach you on that type of stuff, because like a lot of people that are starting business, especially if you're like the first generation business owner, like you don't get taught that, you know. You don't have like the family member that's teaching you that type of stuff. So
they don't teach you have to file quarterly taxes. You have to do it more frequently.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, see, at least for my business.
Well, if you own a business, I would definitely recommend to do quarterly rather than yearly, because I started off yearly.
Yeah.
And when you pay your taxes at the end of the year, it's like a fat payment.
Fat old check.
So
see, y'all are putting me on. I'm not even a business owner, but boom, I mentally noted that I need to file taxes quarterly when I do start a business.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Shit. Is there anything else that you would advise yourself when you first started your business?
Honestly.
Like, don't hire this guy because he's a piece of shit.
More like go with your gut, I guess you could say. What I say that is just like, also hiring people. Like, I've hired people where deep inside I knew it wasn't going to work out, but I hired them anyway. And then it didn't work out. And I'm like, shit.
Is it kind of like you look at them and you're like, they got potential. Like maybe they'll be like, you know, a better version of themselves, but they just don't really meet that. And
honestly, I've always been the kind of person that when I hire someone, I always try to motivate them to like do better and do more. But then I start seeing they don't care. And then I'm just like, shit, like, what do I do now?
Yeah. And so apart from actually having like the salon and the barbershop, you also do microblading.
Yeah, I do.
What was that like? Like, what was the process of getting certified with that? Like,
well, I got...
I'm going to put it up on the screen too.
I went and trained with Royal Brow Studios. Her name is Belma.
Okay.
This was back in September of last year that I did it. I'm still trying to get into it because since I'm a full-time barber, it's really hard to like microblade.
Yeah.
But being a microblader, you definitely got to get your permanent cosmetics or tattoo license.
Oh, gotcha.
So I chose to get my tattoo license, and getting my tattoo license, I'm like starting to get a little bit interested in actual tattooing. So
that's interesting, because for me, as someone who doesn't really know about microblading, how do those two worlds like connect? How does microblading and tattooing connect?
Because it's permanent.
Oh, is this so on the screen right now? Is this considered a tattoo? I can't read the text.
It is. It's considered a tattoo.
Wow, man!
Except it's not like with a tattoo machine. It's with it's like a little pen that has little needles at the end, and then you dip it in the ink, and then you do hair strokes on the
Hold
eyebrow.
up. So these are like drawn on hairs. They're not real hairs?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
You just like blew my mind. I always thought microblading was like this thing with like these like strings and then like, but that's different, right?
No.
Oh, that's different.
You thinking of threading. That's
threading.
Like, that's just
not,
like waxing eyebrows.
See me, I am clueless. Okay, so microblading is literally tattooing on eyebrows. I think my mom got that done one time.
Holy cow.
That looks so realistic though.
Yo, you gave this person a new life, bro. Like, look at this.
That's cool.
No eyebrows.
That's really cool. What inspired you to go into microblading?
The pandemic.
Yeah. Gotcha.
I just when I was out of a job for like almost, over 3 months, I was just thinking of ways of how I can make money once I can go back to work. And one of my friends, Roxanne, I was just like briefly talking to her about how I just wanted to do microblading maybe. And I was like, I don't know. I've been looking at microblading and it seems like it could be interesting. And then right away she like sends me the info of Belma and she's like, here you go. She's going to have a class in like September. And I'm like, oh shit. She put me on the spot. And the same day she sent me that info, I just messaged Belma and signed up.
How long was that class?
It's 3 days.
Oh, that's cool. So
it's 3 days to learn the basics and like all the skin stuff. But then after that, she says, on your own time, you're going to come in when you can to shadow me and for me to help you to practice on fake skin.
And I noticed if you could flip back to her Instagram, at Trippy Barber on Instagram, by the way, for everybody who wants to follow. Could we go down to where she won a competition? I want to talk about that real quick. That looked like it was pretty cool.
Is it this one?
No.
That's.
We could talk about that too, though. Oh yeah, right there in the middle. That's cool. I saw you won first place.
Yeah, you won a barber competition.
Yeah,
a barber.
That was
battle?
right before the pandemic started. It was my last competition.
Oh, so you've done multiple competitions.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
wow.
cool.
How does that work? Like, what do you guys do? And is it real people?
Yeah. So the guy next to me is my barber, but he was also my model for the day.
Oh,
so
cool.
I did his haircut.
So you did his hair.
So pretty much they have these different categories, like for example, fastest fade, which they give you 15 minutes or under. Then they have best fade, which they give you like 30 to 40 minutes. Then they have taper, beard design, and you can enter whichever category you want. And then you bring your own model and then do that category.
That makes
within
sense.
that time frame. And it's usually anywhere from like 10 to like 25 people that are competing at one time.
That's a lot of people.
And then they just choose first, second, and third out of all those people.
And you got first place and you won like, I think it was like $250 or something like that. That's so cool.
That's cool.
And you've done many of these competitions. Yeah. How did you do other times?
I mean, it's always different. I win some, I lose some.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, and honestly, it always has to do with how you feel that day and the timing, because every competition, they always give you a different time frame. The more time you have, the more detailed you can be.
Gotcha.
And then there's some where it's like, sometimes I go to a competition without a model, and then I just find some random hairy dude there. And I'm like, can you be my model? And it's harder to cut somebody you've never cut before.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what the end of the haircut's going to look like. It's always better to take someone that you've already cut before.
Yeah.
Your chances of winning are higher.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because you're already familiar with your canvas pretty much.
Interesting.
Yeah. One of my barbers before, he's told me something that like blew my mind about cutting hair. But he said about how like the first time that you ever come to a barber, it's going to be like a learning experience for the barber, because they're like learning your head. They're learning. And also you kind of have an imprint of the last person who cut your hair's like template. And so like the first time you come, you're working on someone else's kind of like the way they left the hair.
Yeah.
And so then when you come the second time, they already have their imprint and they already understand you.
Exactly.
So it's a lot easier.
That is a really great explanation. So that's exactly how it is.
That's so cool.
The first time, it's always, we're just trying to figure it out. The second time, we already know. The third time, it's after that, like, we should know.
Yeah. Because, like, it's funny, but everybody's head is shaped differently. Like, I know people who have, like, really flat back of the heads. Yeah. I personally have, like, a weird spot on the back of my head that's, like, just flat on one side. And a lot of barbers, like, trip out when they're cutting my hair because they're like, yo, like, the back of your head is, like, on this side, not really, like, on the back. So it's, like, it's just crazy.
Somebody dropped you, bro, as a kid.
For real, man. Somebody dropped you. Man. Yeah, I actually wanted to come up to one of the images here. I thought this was a really cool design that you did on somebody. If you could go down. No, if you could scroll down to the one that we talked about before. The one with the eye and the pyramid.
Oh, okay.
You know when you see it.
I think it's a little bit further down.
Keep going down.
Oh, that one right there.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
I thought that was so cool because, like, I don't know, like the fact that you did this on hair is just crazy to me because, like, that
people
right
would
there,
walk out on you for you being a woman doing this.
Like,
I haven't seen any dudes do this
for real. Like the fact that you faded the white of the eye, that's the part that I kept looking at because I'm like, that looks so hard to do. Like for you to like fade that.
Well,
like,
the white and the green, obviously, that's like color.
Is that actual color?
Yeah, that's actual color that I added on, just to like, you know, make it pop a little bit more.
Yeah, but you still did like the shading on the outside, you know.
That's
and, like,
all hair
with the drip.
All the dark, the black, that's all hair.
That's so crazy. It like looks 3D.
I want to say that there was a video, right? Or no, there wasn't.
I think
that one right there
does have a video.
The one above.
Oh, the one above it. Let me
go scroll up.
Right there. Right there. Oh yeah.
I was like, there's a video out there somewhere. There it is.
That's crazy. Did they request this or did you like?
So they know it's not edited.
Yeah.
No. I just kind of wanted to have some Instagram content. So sometimes I occasionally post on Instagram if anyone is willing to let me do a design or some like crazy color on them. And, you know, when they do, I just, you know.
Did this guy go in asking, hey, put an eyeball, put the Illuminati sign in front of my head?
No, he was just willing to let me practice some random design on him.
That's cool, though.
Dope.
Do you draw too? Like,
I do.
Are you into drawing? Okay, yeah. I would imagine.
Oh man.
Actually, I have a painting on my page.
Oh really? Where's it at? Let's check it out.
To the top. Go down, right there.
Is it right there in the middle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
What? That is dope. That's so abstract. Dope. That is cool. What did you paint this on? Yeah. Like on a canvas? Is it pretty
canvas, big?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's like 3x4.
Oh, acrylic paint?
Yeah. Well, it's oil paint, acrylic paint, what else? There's like random stuff on there that I threw on. And then there's like gold foil on it.
Wow, man.
Do you have this up in your barbershop?
It's the salon.
The salon?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yo, this is dope. You got a lot of layers to you, Trippy Barber.
For real. This is cool. Lot. And could you focus on her team too? We should talk a little bit about your team right here.
Oh, yeah. Elevated team right here.
Yeah, that was actually a flyer for back to school fundraiser that we did. And we had a few people join us as well.
Oh, that's cool. And you guys did free haircuts?
Yeah, we even gave away free school supplies, free backpacks.
Dope. Wow.
That's so cool.
I love that. And so who are these barbers here?
That's Ignacio, and the one down there, that's Leo. The wide body.
The wide body?
What? No, that's me.
I'm like, wait, what?
When he sees this, he's going to be like, wow.
Oh, the wide body. No, that's cool. Yeah, shout out to them, too. It looks like y'all have a pretty good bond. So
yeah, we do.
Sure.
That's what's
They're
up.
a pain in my ass here and there, but, you know, I still love them.
Yeah, no, that's cool, though, that you guys give back to the community, too. I think that's, like, really important as a business owner, right?
I think it is. It is very important.
You go back to, I had one more idea, but I just need to look at her page. That something I wanted to focus on. Could you go down real quick? Down. Oh yeah, I know what. Could you keep going down, please?
Yep.
It looks like you have like merch. I saw like on a shirt. Right there. That one.
Oh, this one?
That Trippy, but I think that looks really cool. Did you design that?
I think that's a video. But yeah, so that is my design. I like drew it.
That's cool.
Wow. But and then it went on a shirt.
Then I hit up a graphic designer to like make it into like a whole file thing.
Oh, got you. So you drew it on paper and then like somebody.
Well, that one, my original Trippy Barber, I drew it on paper, which is like completely different. But then this one, I just drew over my iPad.
Oh, gotcha.
It was a picture of myself, and then I drew over it, and then I sent it to the graphic designer.
That's really cool. That's dope. And just to kind of close out, kind of want to ask you, what are your plans for the future of your business?
Honestly, I'm still trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
I just kind of go with the flow, I guess. But I've had the thoughts of eventually opening up a barber school in the future. Not anytime soon, because it's definitely a process. My vision for it is it's not something that could be done like quick.
Yeah.
So I definitely want to take my time with that. And then just really make sure that that's what I want to do, because teaching is a whole different thing compared to just cutting hair and dealing with clients. Like you got to really deal with like whole personalities of people and being there with them every day, all day.
Wow.
Right. Yeah. No, that's really cool. And where could people find your barbershop? I know it's in Everett, but if you want to be more specific.
So it's on Evergreen Way. It's not too far from Ross. So everyone pretty much knows where Ross is. It's right next to a restaurant called Curry's.
Right next to Curry's. All right. You heard it here, folks. If you want to get a haircut in Everett, pull up to the Elevated Hair Lounge. And if you want to get microbladed, pull up to Elevated Microblading. Thanks for coming through, Trippy Barber.
Thank you for coming through.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and thank you for tuning in today. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok. And share this video.
Please share. It helps us in the algorithm, for real.
Yeah. And one more time, don't forget to subscribe. Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Peace.
Thank you.